Welcome to the Mindset Chick podcast. If you are looking to stop settling and want to gain the clarity and confidence to manifest the life and biz of your dreams, then this show is for you. I'm your host, Kristi Dear, sharing with you simple yet powerful and effective mindset tips that will allow you to attract more abundance, prosperity, and success into your life. So get ready, get excited, and let's go manifest some amazing things together. Hey, and welcome back to the Mindset Chick podcast. I am so happy to have you here. And today we have a very special guest, somebody that I'm very excited to introduce you to. We actually met at a networking event and she was just so full of life, so fun. We really connected and I was like, oh my gosh, you totally have to be on my podcast. So Charmaine Williams is known for her joyful energy, authenticity, and true collaborative spirit. Her zeal for inspiring others to realize their best potential is reflected both personally and professionally. In her 22-year career at AT&T, she emerged as a strong female leader in technology as director, customer messaging, motivating, and coaching colleagues. Branded as a relationship cultivator, she's a passionate advocate, champion, and storyteller who breaks barriers to drive deeper personal connections. Living by example, she's inspired others by being bold and unafraid to expose her own personal vulnerabilities. This led her to be one of the many pioneering advocates of AT&T's Believe Dallas initiative, bringing awareness of Dallas's homeless crisis. Charmaine is also a talented performer and creative with love for acting and singing and dancing. She has danced professionally as a member of Dallas-based nonprofit M.O.M crew since 2018. In 2022, she co-produced and co-directed her first dance video with founder Camille Thompson to Mary J. Blige's Good Morning Gorgeous, aimed at empowering women to embrace themselves and see their true beauty within. Charmaine is a mother who enjoys living out her faith unapologetically, living life and laughing daily with her husband, who's her best friend, and snuggling with their rescue dog. So Charmaine, it's so great to have you on the Mindset Chick podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited about this.
Yes. So we met actually at a networking event that was really fun. And you and I started getting in the conversation about body positivity and just women feeling beautiful in their own skin without having to fit into some kind of perfect mold. And we got in this conversation and it was so great. And then you told me about this video that you created. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to see it. Show it to me. And I watched it and it was just so powerful, so beautiful.
I'm so glad that was the intent.
Yeah, I loved it so much. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have you on the podcast. I'd just love for you to share, about this video and why you felt like it was so needed.
Yes. So it was actually a collaboration with my friend, Camille Thompson, who's also the director over M.O.M Crew, which is a dance team I'm a part of with a bunch of other amazing, incredible, strong women. It's definitely a sisterhood. And so Camille oftentimes will come up and say, hey, let's do a video. We want to do a video about this or that. And then she actually asked me to collaborate with her on this video concept. And so there is a song by Mary J. Blige called Good Morning Gorgeous. And we actually did contemporary dancing to that video. It was choreographed by someone else as well. And so after that, we were like, okay, what do we do with this? So there was a lot of back and forth on like, what does the song mean? There's different like words within the song. And it really resonated with so many different women that are part of the team. And we really wanted to release and do a video where we could have impact, really in showing not only our dance abilities, because it is a dance video, but it is also a video about body image and what we as women go through. As you start to look at, especially as mothers, because everyone that's part of M.O.M Crew is also a mom. So not only do we have some of the own insecurities that we have just as women, but also as mothers, right? We're really hard on ourselves. It's challenging to carry the weight of making sure that you're doing the right things for your kids, second guessing that, but then also trying to be a woman in this world where there's a lot of criticism, right, that you end up having as a result.
Yeah, exactly. And I really loved how the mom in the video, she went to the mirror. She was having this, you could tell like her day was not going as planned. And she just felt like she wasn't doing all the right things and she wasn't living up to, being this great mom. And she was doubting herself and feeling like insecure. And she just looked at herself in the mirror and she said, "You can do this."
Mm-hmm.
Just over and over. And it was so powerful because that's not always easy to do. A lot of times we look in the mirror and we just beat up on ourselves and criticize ourselves. So why do you feel like it's so important for women to just do that? Just say, you know what, you can do this. You got this.
Yeah, it was a moment where she was giving herself encouragement, right? So everything that you actually see in the video are real vulnerabilities. And so as this was coming together, I had asked everyone really just like leading up to us recording some of the behind the scenes footage and also like the footage for the video, I asked everyone to talk about their vulnerabilities. And so everything you see was not a part that was assigned to anyone. It was actually the women, each and every one of these amazing, incredible women that were sometimes afraid to even show their vulnerabilities. And actually, for the first time, they're actually expressing it over video. So the woman that is in the video that says, I can do this, her name is Felicia. Her name is pronounced Felicia, but she actually is a single mother. And she has also taken on her niece, caring for her niece. So she's basically a single mother of two with her son and her niece. And what you saw like in the beginning with all of the rushing around, that's her life. We didn't write that for her. That is what happens every day. And sometimes, right, you question whether you can do this. And so what you don't see is she really came to terms with looking at herself in the mirror. I think I'm going to cry. But she really came to terms with looking herself in the mirror and telling herself, I can do this. Because sometimes you doubt and you're wondering, do you really have the strength, right, to continue on doing this? Like, how is it possible? And so these are like the silent journeys, right, that we all go through, but it's also the vulnerability where you look at someone, you're like, wow, they're so strong. They go in and they have their stuff together. But on the inside, it's like chaos, right? You're like, oh my gosh, it's like a duck that's swimming, right? You see all the feet underneath the water, but all you can notice like on the outside is just that duck gliding. It's like, wow, look at how pretty that is. But underneath, it's all chaos. So yeah, that was a really important moment to like capture and really show the world, like, this is what we go through, right? That moment where she was late, someone else may look at that as like, oh, wow, okay, so you're late again. But really, it's a struggle to make sure that she's caring for herself. She's caring for the two children that she has to care for, right? And just pull it together barely, right? To get them to school and make sure that they're taken care of on time. There's a daily struggle for millions of women, right, that have to go through that all the time. And there's a ton of single mothers that are out there. And so that was one of the stories, right, that we featured in the video. And she's actually the featurette, right? That's part of that video where essentially she's going through this, she's trying to talk herself up. And as she goes through, all of her friends are there to say, you know what, we're going to care for you and we're going to take you out, right? Where we get her kind of clammed up, make her feel amazing and incredible, have a wonderful time with her sisters, but know that even though each and every one of those women are going through the struggles, towards the end, you start to see how do they individually overcome each of those struggles that are represented in the video. Because it's not just about a sad time and let's go feel sad and be sorry for ourselves, as we're going through it. It's really about making sure that we are lifting each other up, which is exactly what Mom Crew is about. And then making sure that everyone feels loved. And so you can see that, we're in these neutral kind of outfits. We really wanted to take away all of the glitz and the glamour, right? And really just show that it's really about rallying around and making sure that we all feel incredible about ourselves, despite, what the circumstances might be.
Yeah, I love that so much. And I mean, I could just feel it through the video where, you were brought to tears, but I could just feel that. And like showing that vulnerability, I think we're doing that more as women, as a society, but for so long, it was like having to fit into this perfect mold and worried about, being judged or judging ourselves and, other people just looking at us like, oh my gosh, why don't they have it together? And, just saying, we don't all have it together and we don't have to be perfect. But then, like you said, everybody in the video came together to support her and to show her that she was loved and make her feel beautiful. And it was really touching. I really loved it. And I think the world needs more of the realness.
Yes.
The realness of what we go through every day. And let's not judge each other. Let's love each other. Let's support each other. Let's lift each other up. We all have our own struggles in different ways. And sometimes, on social media, it looks like you're following somebody and it looks like they have everything perfectly together. And you could look at yourself and say, why don't I have that? What's wrong with me?
It's a big thing to try to live up to. And so, Mom Crew has been featured on So You Think You Can Dance. They've been in World of Dance, the dance competition for the championships in 2019. And so what you've seen across with Mom Crew that, again, my friend Camille Thompson had started is just, you always see the women that are going and dancing. And so you see all the dance and you see all of us having fun. And we do. That is we do that because it's our passion, right? And so we come together and we do it because it is our passion. But at the end of the day, there's still all of these things that we're living and we're kind of going through each and every day. And that's what the world doesn't see, right? Social media shows all of the perfection and no one actually shows what it either takes, right, to get there and get what you see, or the sacrifices, right, that people have to make sure that we're putting out kind of these perfect perceptions, which is really toxic, right, when you start to think about it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to make sure that we could feature everything that makes, each of these women, right, vulnerable. There's another woman that actually she has this part, underneath her stomach that kind of just she calls it a fupa, right? But she is like, I don't want to show it. I really don't. And then I'm like, but this is not for you, right? This is for everyone else that has the exact same insecurity. But how are you going to feel comfortable, right? And she's featured kind of in the bra and then the underwear in the video. And she also had a moment where she was coming to terms with seeing herself as beautiful. So we're talking to her, right? And so in the creation of this video, there's a whole bunch kind of in the background, obviously you don't hear, but it's the reinforcement of every single woman that's featured in that video to tell her she is beautiful. Now look at yourself and tell yourself I'm beautiful, right? How do you feel about that? And we've got tears. There was an emotional release. I mean, it was just so beautiful to be just a part of that, right? To be able to it was the first time that I've ever co-produced or co-directed a video in my whole life.
Wow. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was. And the creative process was so incredible, but I wouldn't have changed it for anything. There was a time where we were mentally preparing everyone, okay, you're going to be on video. Here's what it is. What do you want to see? And we had a whole chat going amongst our team, right? Where I'm like, what would you say to someone else? It's your friend and she never sees herself as beautiful, but you see her as beautiful. What would you tell her, right? And we had all of these comments. It's an internal group. It's a private group. So no one sees it but us. And it was just so incredible on how everyone started to rally around each other and lift each other up despite what they put as their own vulnerability. So we're asking everyone to be vulnerable, plus now go take that, flip that, and be encouraging to your sister next to you. I wish that we could do that more. I wish it wasn't just a video. And that is honestly what Mom Crew is about, is to really give those opportunities back to women who want to dance, want to feel comfortable, maybe have never danced before, but are part of the sisterhood. If anything happens, I know exactly who I can call. I have lifetime friends, you know what I mean, with this group that is amazing.
That's huge.
Especially in the dance world, right? It's not friendly. Dance is not friendly to moms or washed up people, right? You feel again, it's social, right? You've got to be perfect. You've got to have this body. So you've got different parts of the video too, where everyone is feeling comfortable, different shapes, different sizes, different colors, right? Different dance abilities. Some people have been professional dancers and some people actually like Felicia. She had never danced before she started auditioning for Mom Crew.
Wow.
Taking a couple classes.
Such great dancers. I was watching that wow, they're amazing. So that just shows you anybody could join, I guess, this Mom Crew and start dancing.
Yeah. And so what's beautiful is Mom Crew does auditions every season, right? So every year, like even the people who have been part of Mom Crew also have to audition. And so Felicia and I, we joined at the same time in 2018. And every year we have to audition. So it's not guaranteed that you'll get in, right? It's like there's community events that Mom Crew does as well. Like we do things within the community. There is a foundation called the Mom Crew Foundation where people can actually donate so that there are scholarships and others things to give to other moms who also are not able to afford some of the monthly dues and get them, in dance or pay for dance class scholarships. It's really, really incredible.
Wow, that is really great.
Yeah, it's really incredible. There's nothing like it. That's what made this video what you would call like easy to do. It wasn't because nothing was manufactured. And it's the real authenticity, right, of each and every woman coming across and trying to make sure, like, even after the footage, with all the footage we have, how do we go in and make sure that, we're picking the best parts and working with the videographer and, cutting those together. And you've got a really short time, right, to tell that story. But it's so important to tell. And there will be more. There will be more like this. But, it was really the first collaboration that Camille and I did. And I mean, I think it's incredible. I really just took, what her vision was for Mom Crew and then the experiences that each and every one of us had. And we kind of put that together for everybody to see, because those are the things like in the video that behind the scenes we see from each and every member of the team. That's what makes us a sisterhood, because everybody feels so comfortable in sharing like really personal parts of their life, but can trust, each one to know that none of us are going to take advantage of it. It's just so incredible.
That's really, really great to have, I mean, not everybody has that. That's really special. Something you guys created like that, something super special. And I noticed in the video you had, the women just start taking off their makeup and just showing like their true selves, like no makeup, no filter, which is probably wasn't easy to do. Why did you feel like that needed to be added?
Yeah. So there's in the song, right, there's a part where she's talking about, I don't need any hair or makeup, right? And so it's really important. You can't just show all of the physical vulnerabilities, right? We wear makeup, especially as women. We go in and do things to our bodies or to our face to make us feel more comfortable with who we are, instead of making everyone else feel comfortable with who we are.
Ooh, that's good.
There's a huge difference, right? And so for some, and there was actually, a person in the video that had a moment because she does not like the way that she looks without makeup at all. Mm-hmm. And it was that was her vulnerability. So having to take off the makeup and look at herself in the mirror and believe that she's beautiful, every single way that she was created, every single part of her body, that she is beautiful, was a really difficult and tough moment. And we had to be able to show in that video that you could be comfortable with or without makeup. You're the same person. You're the same beautiful, wonderful, gorgeous woman with or without makeup, just the way you are. You do not have to change. The world has to change to be able to accept you the way you are. But you should never have to compromise who you are. You should never have to compromise what you do for anyone else to accept you. And that's like toxic, right? If you have to go in and change who you are or what you do for the world to take you as you are, then they need to change. And you need to cut so social media for me, a lot of times I have to cut. It's too much. There's a lot. And I also feel like the pressure of you have to look at everything or you're going to miss something, or, do a lot of self-comparisons. And that's not healthy at all. And especially with the makeup. I mean, look at the filters, the catfishing and
right.
You're like, whoa, you don't look like that. There was a post I put on my page and I just bare face, no makeup. And I was like, this is me. This is a filter that doesn't look like me at all. Yeah. It's crazy, right? But we think, you have to soften it. You know what? I have wrinkles. It's okay. I am okay with that. Sometimes I go without makeup. Sometimes I put on makeup. But I feel comfortable, and it's taken me a while, right? I didn't just come out and just hey, it's me. I have a lot of energy. I talk a lot. There's I'm loud. There's no hope. Like my mom's loud, my dad's loud, everybody's loud, right? So for me, like I'm a lot and I know that I'm a lot, but I love life. I enjoy watching other people smile. I'm a goofball. And for a very long time in my life, I thought I had to change who I was and temper myself down because I was too much to handle. And
yeah, that's what I've been told most of my life. I'm a little bit too much. I might make people feel like a little uneasy around me or insecure or something. So I need to kind of tone it down and not be so loud. And
but why?
I get you. Yeah,
But
right.
why did you believe that?
Yeah. Well, I was told that. I never thought that about myself, but I was told that I need to kind of like take it down a notch to make people feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
And so a lot of my life, I was like, well, I guess I need to. I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. And then when I got older, I was like, wait a minute, I need to be me. Like God made me who I am. I mean, my intention is not to make people feel like that. I'm just happy. I just am loud, like you said. I'm just excited. I just want to.
Yeah. I just love life. And so people who don't love life are going to be uncomfortable around you.
That's true, right?
Right? Yeah. People who like, and as an extrovert, like I'm very extroverted, right? So a lot of like introverts, like in complete introverts, maybe feel a little uncomfortable, but I've met a ton of introverts. Like my husband is a natural introvert, but with me, he's been like, you know, and we've been married for 17 years. So with me, he is a lot more open. Everyone that kind of just like gets around me just becomes a lot more open and goofy. Like people feel comfortable with like the silliness, the goofiness. Like we'll go and talk in other voices because we're just goofy like that. People look at us weird. And it's just like, I don't know, it's goofy. Like I love life. I want to enjoy life. But at the same time, the only way that I can, like, I literally feel like I've only been able to come out and accept myself truly probably since I've joined Mom Crew. Like it took me that long to feel comfortable with myself. And that's like in my late 30s. So like I went through my whole life thinking like, I can be this way around this group of friends, but I have to be this way around this different group of friends. And then in the corporate environment, which I've been in for over like 20 years, in the corporate environment, I have to be all about business all the time. And what I realized is that I was not sharing a part of myself that could actually make someone else smile.
That's good. Yeah, that's really,
right. So,
that's so true. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it wasn't just about me, but I was not sharing who I was. And so like at work, as an example, we'll go through some pretty intense times where we do these program increment plannings and you plan for the next like 8 to 10 weeks of time, like in a week. Like that is what you do, right? And it's very intense for a lot of people, like in, you know, it's product development, kind of software development. And so that's the other side, right? That's the corporate side, not the creative side. I don't get to shoot videos at work, right? Yeah. But what I do is I'm able to make people laugh and help release the stress because we're not robots, right? In the work environment. Doesn't matter where it is. Doesn't matter if you work on a podcast. It doesn't matter, right? But like you have to have something that makes people feel comfortable with coming with their true selves. And what I found is that in everything I do, like I want people to feel comfortable with their true selves and not hold back. And so the vulnerabilities as an example that we show in the video is a perfect example of being exactly who you are, but doing it for a selfless reason. It's the most hardest part to show, and it's what you hide. Because if you expose it, somebody could use it to hurt you. But to be able to build up that trust and know that, you know what, it does not matter what anyone says. This is you. And you have to understand that just as you are, your eccentricity, you look different physically, you are a different shade, you have different hair type, you may have children that look different, you're taking care of children that aren't your own, you're late all the time, but you don't want to be. Like, people will make their own judgments, but it's up to us to go in and switch those, right? And so the more that you come out with your true self, people then start to understand you, right? So if you're constantly late, people are like, wow, you're just so disrespectful. No, I have a lot on my plate. And you know what? I probably need some help saying no. And that's for me. Like, I needed help saying no. I needed help because I'm a yes person all the time. Yeah. But I'm yes so much that it's to my detriment.
Yeah.
I hurt myself because I take on too much because I want to please everybody.
Just being aware of that is really good. Just being aware of that and identifying that, saying, yeah, I need help with like boundaries, like saying yes all the time, and realizing saying no is not, don't have to be disappointing somebody.
Yeah, but then be okay. Because if you say no because it's too much and you explain that and that person doesn't understand it, then you have to kind of reevaluate what kind of relationship you have with that person.
Yeah, that's true too. So
because
good.
if someone's going to put so much on you, you know what I mean, that you start to sacrifice yourself, you cannot do that. That also is toxic, right?
Yeah, that's very toxic. And
Yeah.
so, like, when you talk about somebody just really accepting themselves for who they are and just really starting to love themselves more and, be more vulnerable, like, how would you recommend somebody start with that? Maybe they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I could take off my makeup or, show that part of me. But how could they start loving themselves more or being more vulnerable or just being more relaxed with who they are?
I mean, I think in just doing this video, it was a process and an experience and trying to understand how each individual can be comfortable with sharing that. And so I think the first part, and again, I've reflected back on the video and, what the approach was. And then I've also looked at in the corporate environment, in the workspace, like, how does that happen? Because you have so much conflict, even in the work environment or even with friends, right? In social circles where everyone tries to be someone that they're really not. Mm-hmm. Because they're concerned and they're afraid that if someone finds out their flaws, because they're, perceiving it as a flaw, that they will think less of them.
Right.
And so I think the first part is really just understanding what your vulnerabilities are. That's kind of what we had approached just in our little small social group, with saying like, okay, what are your vulnerabilities? And what do you think are your flaws? Okay, now flip it around and talk to yourself about those very same things, or put yourself in a situation where you have that one friend, and that one friend that never sees herself as a beautiful person. And you do not understand why in the world she doesn't see that. What would you say to her? What is it that you would say to her to make sure that she knows and she hears that she is incredible and amazing just the way she is? And she doesn't have to do any of the things that she thinks she has to do to make her better to the world, right? But I think people only feel comfortable sharing their vulnerabilities if you do first. I could never say this and not say the things that I've been insecure about, the things that I'm not sure about. Like, I could never do that. And so when I invited everyone to kind of go and comment on that, I started first. And you open a door and people are like, wow, okay, you could do that. Maybe I can do that, right? So you have to be able to set the example and feel comfortable with it, no matter how deep it could be, a wound or a scar.
Yeah, that's good. I love that you said that, and like, take the first step. And I love that you're just opening the door to this and just showing people a different way to be. They can embrace their full selves. And it's just beautiful. I love it. I'm just so glad that we connected.
Oh my gosh, I am too. And it really is like a soft spot in my heart for us to just live more authentically. I think if we do, then we can create deeper connections with one another. They will be real. They won't be manufactured. I think even just for this podcast, I looked over the questions, right? But I didn't go in and like script every single detail, because I want our connection to be authentic. I want you to hear what truly is on my heart. I want you to hear the passion, and you can't hear that if everything is scripted.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love it. And I definitely can. And I love everything that you had to share. You had so many great things to share and so many takeaways. And, my mind is just spinning right now. I'm just thinking about a lot of things, even to, look at my vulnerabilities and things that I could start looking at and things that I could start saying to myself, because there was so much of my life where I just beat up on myself and told myself I was ugly and I was fat and wasn't good enough. And so later in life, like learning a lot of these practices, that I've taught on the podcast, like I've really had to do some self-love and self-healing, and I continue to do that. So yeah, so important.
There's a quote at the beginning of the video I'd love to just read.
Yes,
And
I was about to ask you, what is your favorite quote that you love to live by? So yes, please.
It's actually one that was created for the video, but I think it's something like if you're really starting to go and think about your own vulnerabilities and how you can share those, because sharing your vulnerability is a strength. Yeah. Most people think it's a weakness, right? So when you start to look at things like think about the strength that you can give to others by sharing what is so deep with you that it might serve to help open the door to a conversation, to maybe inspire someone else. You know, especially sometimes if you just see someone, you're like, wow, I know that they're going through a silent struggle and I want to let them know. And you have no idea, right? The impact that that would make. And so that's the biggest thing with this video is like, these are the silent struggles that women go through. And it wasn't to get all the love, you know, coming to Mom Crew. It was really to go in and show the strength that these women have, right? By showing their own vulnerabilities in the video and being able to show how we come together. That part was not manufactured. What you see with the smiles and everything, that's real. Everything that you see there is real. It was not done for show. Okay, so let me read this quote because this is for you too, Kristi.
Okay.
Women are not just beautiful, they are gorgeous. As women, we struggle with our image, fears, doubts, and confidence with our changing bodies. Are we really beautiful? As mothers, we persevere in our strength for our families and children. Our beauty comes from within. Mom Crew.
Ooh, that's so beautiful. So beautiful and powerful. I love it. Yeah. And if we could just wake up every day and look at ourselves in the mirror and just say, you know what, you are beautiful.
Yep.
You are enough. You're doing enough.
That's right.
Or, you know, you're more than just your body. You are just beautiful inside and out. Your spirit is beautiful. You are love. And, you know, even flip it and just say, like, instead of like putting all the attention on ourselves, like you said, who could I inspire today? How can I make a difference in somebody else's life today? And, you know, instead of putting the focus on ourselves, which can make us feel like, you know, fearful and insecure and all those things, we flip the script and put the attention on somebody else. How can I serve the world today? How can I make the world a better place? How can I make somebody else feel good or uplift somebody else? And in turn, that helps us and that helps the world.
Yeah, it absolutely does. I'm a person who wants everybody to smile. So everything that you said is like exactly what we want people to think of in the video, right? But I think more importantly, just how do you want to live and how can you truly inspire others? And sometimes it might not be like you have to go and have a very long conversation or get someone to share like their deepest, darkest pain or secrets or what they deal with. It might just be a smile. It might just be a word to that person. It may just be like a simple touch, right? As you're going across, it may just you looking at, you know, another woman in her eyes and saying, you know what, I see you. And that's it. And that's enough, right? So it doesn't have to be a lot of effort, but I think oftentimes we know when some people are going through things, but we don't know what to say. Sometimes you don't need to say anything. It just might need to be you being there and for you to tell her that you see her.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. Well, Charmaine, I'm so glad that you were able to be on the podcast and share so many of your awesome tips and share about the video and the Mom Crew. How would somebody find out more about Mom Crew if they want to be a part of it and watch the video?
Yes. So on YouTube, you can actually just search Mom Crew, and Mom Crew has their own channel. And so you can subscribe and watch all the videos. You can watch our dance videos, but there's also the Good Morning Gorgeous video on the Mom Crew YouTube channel. And then you can also go to momcrewdfw.com. And on that website, you can see all about Mom Crew, the history, why it was created by the founder, Camille Thompson, what she aims to do, some of the performances, volunteer work. There's a ton of volunteer work also that Mom Crew does behind the scenes. If you have an organization, Mom Crew is a 501c3 organization. So that's kind of the best part. There's also what I had mentioned is the foundation on the website, but that is where you can find all of the information about Mom Crew. And if you would like to spread some joy, add some joy to community, volunteer events, there's a way to reach out and get Mom Crew involved. But yeah, that is the easiest way to get in touch with Mom Crew.
Awesome. I love it. And I'm going to connect the Good Morning Gorgeous video to our link to in the notes in the podcast. So everybody can check out the video that we were talking about.
I can't wait. I invite everyone to comment and share like what it means. I honestly think that it was kind of a silent sleeping video, but I think as more and more women get involved and just start looking at it, it's like, wow, I really hope it does kind of the thing that we often lack, right? Which is inspire and convince every woman, right, that it is okay to be you in the way that you are. And sometimes it takes some convincing to say you are enough. And I hope that every woman that sees this video is able to see that she is enough. There's nothing that you need to do to alter your appearance or anything to make you be more than enough to someone else. You are just fine the way you are.
Yes, so good. Well, thanks again, Charmaine.
Thank you, Kristi. I'm so excited. I cannot wait for your viewers to see this.
Me too. And remember, friend, to dream big, follow your heart, and never give up on you, because you're worth it.
Thank you for joining me today on the Mindset Chick podcast. I hope this show has you waking up every morning excited about the new manifestations you have created in your life. And if you would honor me with a 5-star review over in iTunes, I will happily enter your name in my Mindset Chick swag giveaway. Make sure you add your name to the review and I will reach out to you if you're the winner. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. Be sure to visit me at mindsetchick.com for past episodes and more gifts that will help you to manifest your dreams into reality.